Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be talking about why conforming to your past self or conforming to your future self may be a form of conformism. Because if you don't focus on your present self, which is who you are really, you might be doing things for someone else, even if that someone else is yourself, but in the past or in the future. Let me give you an example for the past example. If you think perhaps at the beginning of the day, oh, I'm going to eat at 1 p.m. and I'm going to eat at 7 p.m. And then it turns out that you're hungry a bit earlier, or a bit later. But you think, oh no, I need to follow this time that I've set for myself. Then, it's some form of conformism really, because you are doing not what you want, but what your past self wants. And let me give you an example. In my previous video, I said that I would be making a series on anti-conformism and conformism in general and all the ways that it manifests. And I thought, oh, so I'm going to be talking about feedback. I'm going to be talking about truth in companies. I'm going to be talking about how much people crave the truth. But actually, when I thought I'm going to make a video today, I didn't want to do this anymore. I had changed my opinion and I just didn't want to do this anymore. And one way that I could have been conformist would have been to try to do that anyways, but I didn't. And I think that it's an interesting thing that you can even conform when the person that you're conforming with is yourself. So let's take an example of conforming with the past version of yourself. Imagine that you make a plan, and imagine in the best case, no one else is involved in the plan, as in, you don't have to conform to anyone else, but it's only you, you're making the plan. Well, afterwards, you'll be judging yourself based on how well you're meeting the expectations of your plan. And that is a way to conform to your previous self. And therefore, you're not free anymore and you're not making your choices. You're just judging yourself based on how well you conform to your previous self. So that's one way that making a plan is an example of conforming to your previous self. So I guess, be careful when you make a plan, especially if it's too rigid, because you risk conformism. Now, let me give you an example of future conformism, so as in how you could conform to your future self in the present. Well, let's imagine that you're anxious about something that will happen in the future, or something perhaps that just could happen in the future, perhaps it's just a possibility. I don't know, a possibility that you might get fired from your job, let's say, and then perhaps you're doing actions based on that. Perhaps you will be very, very careful with how you act. Not so much because you think that in the moment this is the right thing to do, but you will just think, oh, I'm so scared of the possibility of this future self that would be really sad, that I act in a way that prioritizes this over my present feeling and over what I think. And I really don't mean like do not be cautious, because definitely being cautious is good. But what I mean is it's about trusting yourself in the present moment. And I think often you can, for the future case, you can start, being very, very worried about things. And I think that's partly because you're trying to conform to what the future self, this hypothetical future self, would like you to do. But actually, you don't really want to do that. Like, I don't know. You can imagine lots of catastrophe scenarios, lots of things that could happen that would be really terrible. I don't know. You could think, oh, I'm going to be run over by a bus or something like this. And then you act based on trying to conform to that future self who will be run over. But actually, you can trust yourself in the moment that you're going to make the right decisions. So you can conform to your past you or conform to your future you. And all of these ways are ways that you can conform to yourself, but that's not really yourself. It's someone else, but that's the same person, but it's someone else in the future or in the past. And that person is not you. And you need to be careful because you can even fail to be free by conforming to yourself. And now, let's delve a bit more into my example of like, I said that I would be doing these videos. I would be doing these videos on feedback, truth, etc. But because I didn't want to do them in this morning, I didn't do them, and I changed. And, I'm sorry if you had a big expectation for these videos. I don't think you have because it's a very new channel, but I guess it's going to be like this because even when we say something, I mean, I guess you need to be careful because sometimes you make a promise and you need to be very careful with promises. I think that's probably what is the takeaway from this, but also like think about the possibilities that could be opened up if, you were okay to say, well, I've changed my mind. In many cases, you can say I've changed my mind, and it's not to be fickle or anything like that, but being able to change one's mind can be very helpful because there are many situations when it doesn't really matter, if you do what you said you would do, because actually it doesn't really matter. You can change your mind, and that's most of the things in life that are like this. So to become less conformist, be less tied by the future and by the past, be more free to say, well, actually, I've changed my mind. So that's how you free yourself from the past. And if you want to free yourself from the future, you can think, well, I can make good decisions now for my future. I don't need to be paralyzed by what my future self, which is hypothetical, would want me to do. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, please leave a like. That would really help me. And leave a comment if there's anything that you found useful in this video. Subscribe if you would like more. I will not say this time what kind of things I will be making in the next video because I'm not sure, and I wouldn't want to promise something that I'm not going to hold. But I really appreciate your support. I think, in general, there will be the themes of anti-conformism, even anti-conformism with myself, as you've seen. And also, anything to do with freedom are things that I really care about. So there will probably be more videos like this. So I'll see you in the next video.